All right. Today we are going to be learning about standard deviation. First, we need to start off and define deviation. So deviation talks about how different something is. So when you see deviation, I want you to think about difference. And also we're going to learn about variability. Variability has to deal with how different. So deviation means that different from the normal. I'm supposed to say normal. Different from the normal. And variability means how different. Okay? So there's several steps that we have to take, and I'm going to go ahead and list those steps here and then work through an example. First step is you have to solve for the mean. Okay, we all know that the mean is the average. After we solve for the mean, then we need to find what is the difference from the mean. What's the deviation? So we're going to subtract each number. We're going to subtract the mean from each number. After we do that, we're going to square each of the differences. Okay, so one thing to keep in mind is anytime you square a number, even if it's positive or negative, so if we square a negative, we should end up with a positive. And if we square a negative or a positive, we're still going to end up with a positive. So this number, these should always end up positive. And then after we square, we're going to find the new mean. Okay? So all of this, I'm going to spin my paper sideways. This is all for variability. There we go. All right, so I just want you to know that this is for variability. In order to find standard deviation, which is the whole topic, you have to take the square root of the variance or the variability. So to find the standard deviation, we take the square root of the variability or the variance. So let's go through and highlight our vocabulary real quick. We've got 3 new terms today: deviation, variability, and then also our standard deviation, because that is different than just plain deviation. All right, so let's work an example now. I took a couple of the test scores from our last quiz, and I made a list. So we've got 27, 26, these are out of 25 points, 14, 18, 20, and 21. Okay, so this is from last quiz. We want to find out, one, what is the mean? What is the average? And 2, what is the standard deviation for this particular quiz? So we're going to go through our steps. So first we're going to solve for the mean. So I'm going to take 27, I'm going to add it to all of the other numbers. And then I'm going to divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to give us our mean. So if you take 27, you add 26 plus 14 plus 18 plus 20 plus 21, you should get 126. So 126 divided by 6 means our average on that last quiz was a 21 out of 25 points. So this is our mean. So we just did step 1. Now we're going to do step 2. If I go back up to my steps, we are now taking the deviation. So every number, I'm going to take 27, I'm going to take away 21. So 27 minus 21 is 6. 26 minus 21 is 5. 14 minus 21 gives me a negative 7. 18 minus 21 is negative 3. 20 minus 21 is negative 1. And 20 minus 21 is 0. Okay? Now, this tells us if it's positive that it's above the average, and a negative number tells us it's below the average. Think of it as a 0. The mean is now the center, and above is going to be positive, below is going to be negative. So step 2, we found the difference. Step 3, we're going to square each term. So 6 squared, I'm going to put parentheses around this, so I know I'm squaring the whole term, which means I'm including this negative. Alright, so now we get to practice our squares. 6 squared is 36, 5 squared is 25, negative 7 squared is 49, negative 3 squared is 9, negative 1 squared is 1, and 0 squared is still 0. Alright, last but not least, this is going to give us our variability. I find the new average, so 36 plus 25 plus 49 plus 9 plus 1 plus 0. I'm going to write the 0 so I remember that I have to divide. That counts as a number. So let's get our calculator back out. And we've got 36 plus 25 plus 49 plus 9 plus 1. We can add in 0 if we want, but I know that it's going to be 120. And then how many numbers are we dividing by? Or how many numbers do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should still have the same number. So 120 divided by 6 is 20. So that's our variance. Now to find the standard deviation, and variance is the same as variability. It's just another way of saying it. So to find our standard deviation, we're going to take the square root of our variance. So let's get our calculators back out. We're going to press this button right here. Square root. So, well, that doesn't make sense. Oh, 20 square root. There we go. 4.5. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth, meaning I have 1 decimal. So this is my standard deviation, and we're going to learn a little bit more about what that means in class.